Hello, everyone.
Welcome to the Queers of Time podcast.
I'm Matt.
I'm James.
I'm Kenny.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast to talk about all the gay stuff in the Wheel of Time.
Because we're gay and we like the Wheel of Time.
Thank you, as always, to our lovely Patreons on Patreon. Our lovely patrons on Patreon. Though you all could be little collective sentient websites. Who knows? I'm not here to judge your identity.
What?
For our patrons, thank you for all the support, especially our feral venerator of Soirain. As for today's episode...
Lurks. Her name is Lurks.
Lurks. Yes. Lurks. Look, This is my first episode. This is our first episode.
This is a great start.
What's happening?
I don't know.
Matt is happening.
I don't know.
Thank you, Lurks, for being our mommy, for being our sweet mommy. So today's episode, we're talking about The Wheel of Light, A Memory of Light. We're talking about A Memory of Light.
All right. Let's just take a minute, take a step back.
Shake it out. Shake it out.
Shake it out, as Florence Welch said.
Yes, exactly.
No, that's Taylor Swift.
I mean, yeah,
Florence Welch said it too.
Maybe, I don't know.
Today's topic is about A Memory of Light, the very last book in Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series. And to be honest, I'm not sure what exactly we're talking about. I'm just sort of here for the ride, as everybody knows.
That's very obvious, yes.
Aren't we all just here for the ride?
Listen, that's all we're doing.
The ride is starting so well.
We're here for a wheel time, not a long time.
Boo.
Let's get started.
Yeah. So, A Memory of Light. 11 years ago. I didn't know about it because I only read it like 2 years and a half ago. Wait, no.
God, this is when I start to feel old.
Uh-huh.
Yes, 2 years and a half ago.
No, not 2.5 years. Or 11 years. The fact that I have been
I know.
reading this since 2004.
I know it was unrelated. I was just trying to make the math again.
Camille was doing quick maths.
Quick math, and I had a brain fart. How do we feel about A Memory of Light having come out 11 years ago? Except for James feeling old.
I mean, I have my bits. I live Facebooked it, so I'm looking up and I cited specific page numbers, so I'm like looking. I'm excited to look at those and be like, what the fuck was I talking about?
Because I feel like we've dug them out before on the podcast, or a couple of them.
I think we've talked about. Yeah, we have, but we haven't gone like fully in depth.
No, we haven't.
Aw.
Oh, I should have gotten I don't know where my...
Yeah, I mean, might as well bring the book.
I cannot imagine a mass market paperback version of this.
I mean, they exist, but their chunk is...
I mean, I know they exist. It's just like, ew, why?
Look at that thick boy.
Are you talking about what I have, or are you...
Yeah, the mass market paperback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice. I am able to, I was able to make a tiny shelf just for those books and the Tolkien book, and then that's it. That one is full, and...
Something that size, there's no way of reading it without blowing its back out a little bit. Kind of gotta bend it.
I read it only once. Have you seen the back?
Yeah, I'm like, this one that I'm looking at right now is the one that I took to the A Memory of Light book tour, where I was like, it's inscribed by Harriet and Brandon, so that's nice. Yeah. Okay. What do we remember about A Memory of Light?
What are the spoiler levels?
Oh, full spoiler. Like, we're talking about A Memory of Light.
I'm just trying to be considerate, because you know
No,
me.
that's a fair question. That is a fair question, but it's
full book spoiler for this episode.
Yeah. If you have not read all of the books of the Wheel of Time, you should not be listening to this episode, because we will be talking about all the things.
I mean, what do people definitively remember happening in A Memory of Light?
Gawain dying and me being happy.
Okay.
Lan not dying and me being happy.
Egwene dying.
Egwene dying and me being very sad.
Moraine having literally nothing to do except showing up at the field of whatever and
Marilor,
making
yes.
some speech. And
The Pelennor fields. Wait, no, not Pelennor.
No, not Pelennor Fields, Marilor.
That's right.
Matt basically inventing some way to like use the portal in order to watch the field, which I think was pretty
Right.
neat.
Yeah, he invented like
Inventing satellites.
satellites. Yeah.
Yeah.
He invented the CIA.
There you go.
I mean, it's not wrong.
No, not incorrect, certainly.
Um,
I remember, Swan's death being kind of like, and it like
Off
being
page.
very obviously, off page, and it happening because Min said it had to happen, and so it happened. And Min being like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
This sucks.
yeah.
Nynaeve having nothing to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't want to start with only the things that I didn't like.
I mean, I liked Egwene's. I don't like that Egwene died. I like how Egwene died because it felt very like in theme with her character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that she was the only major character to die.
Yeah.
Rand does not count.
Yeah.
Lan should have died.
I agree.
Lan should have died.
I agree.
Probably.
I agree.
I don't know. If you end a battle and you've lost your luscious gender locks, isn't that a death in some sort of way, in some sense?
I mean, I guess in a way.
I think it would have been very like thematically incredible to have both Egwene and Rand dying and Swan and Moraine being alive and basically being the mentor having lost their mentee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would have been
Yeah.
cool.
And it's and especially because like Egwene and Rand's journeys all through, like not just through this book, but like through the series, they're running parallel. Like there's this very obvious connection between the two, and it feels like a cheat kind of to have Egwene die and have Rand die but not die, really. I don't know.
Right. He just gets to like he's suffered a whole bunch as if no one else in this series has suffered.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
No one else. Only him.
Only Rand.
He's just
I
Rand.
think from when I remember how I felt when finishing the book, I think a lot of it was also like I was relieved of finally being done with The Wheel of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know that I would go back into it 3 months later with the TV show and being a bit too deep into it. But it's also like I have issues with, like, for example, some of the repartition between POVs and which character we got to see a lot of and which character we didn't see a lot of. And at the same time, even the characters that we got a lot of, I liked most of the stories made. But when thinking about this episode, I was making the reflection, like I was thinking about a book that I've recently read. I don't know if you guys have read A Memory Called Empire and A Desolation Called Peace.
Mm-hmm. I've read the first one, not the second.
It gave me kind of the same effect because the first one is very much focused on a specific character. And while the second one still has a lot of this character, we also get other people POVs. Some of them that I was like, I loved all of those POVs, but at the end of the books, I was like, yeah, but I still wanted more of that character. So it's like, for example, Androl and Pevara, I did enjoy the scene between them, but at the same time, I still wanted more of some other characters. So that's kind of how I feel about A Memory of Light in general.
It felt like, it kind of, there were bits and pieces that were sort of referenced kind of throughout the series, but not in like major ways, or like characters that were kind of talked about that came back in A Memory of Light, which is fine, but it felt like a stretch almost for like to have like, you know, like these kind of random bits coming in. And I was like, oh, this is surprising. I didn't expect to see this here. I don't hate it necessarily, but yeah, I would have liked, I don't know. I think I just wanted, different POVs. I don't know how else to explain it. I agree with you though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember loving how unhinged it was that there's a chapter that's, 250 or 150 pages? Like, the last battle chapter is huge. And, like, it is just, like, an unhinged level of huge. And I love that. I'm pretty sure that seems to me like a Robert Jordan choice and not a Brandon Sanderson choice. It's something that RJ would do.
Yeah.
And
248 pages in my book.
Oh my god.
It's longer than the first Harry Potter book.
yeah.
Which is like, and that I was gonna say, like, the actual battle part, I remember being riveted reading it.
Yeah.
It was a fun chapter.
Because I love, like, one thing that man knew how to do really well was write really compelling battle fight scenes. And I was like glued in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually so I'm not like particularly knowledgeable regarding fight scene, but I've heard that there's pretty much like there's a big distinction between how Jordan writes those and how Sanderson writes those. Like Jordan, it was always messy because it kind of feel like he's been into battle and he knows that battles are messy and you don't really get what's happening. While Sanderson do like to describe a lot more and have saying makes sense.
Right.
So I'm curious whether like a Robert Jordan last battle would have the same aspect of that battle. I don't know.
I would think more chaos.
I mean, it does jump around like a lot.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of distinct POVs that are just insane.
Yeah.
It does feel messy, but not off. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
I understand that critique.
Yeah.
it did remind me, because I'm just thinking now of the first time I read The Way of Kings and the last battle scene. I'm not going to go into spoilers just in case there are people who haven't read it. But the last battle scene in that book, it did, now that I'm thinking about it, it does remind me of the sort of style of it. Especially with the moving POVs and like going here and there. And like it's, I kind of think that it blended really well together though. Like I kind of think we got the best out of both of them in it. Where like Sanderson he can get really, really specific about things to the point where like it's too much of the details. And I think sometimes Robert Jordan kind of, like, as you said, like he kind of focused on more the messiness of it, which is accurate. But do you want to read that necessarily? And I think they kind of mesh together.
Not always, kind of.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just counted very quickly on the statistical analysis website. And there's, in that, like, okay, so in the whole book, there's 49 unique POVs and 258 like different POVs. So some people are appearing multiple times.
Wow.
That last battle, do you have any ideas how many POVs that battle contain?
Oh God.
That one chapter.
75.
At least a few dozen.
72.
Oh my God.
72, okay.
You are so close,
Okay.
James.
That's 28% of all the POVs are in this
Jesus
one freaking
Christ.
chapter.
That is
Love it.
wild. That is wild. What a bonkers book. Like, and I say that with all the love in the world.
Yeah. Oh, same. It's just
Oh my
just
God.
unhinged, but in a way that I love. I say unhinged non-derogatorily.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, James?
No, I'm just reading through, like, I'm preparing my my notes or I'm looking ahead in the book for where I got very impressed or, like, made a point to take a note of it when I was reading it for the first time. And I just got to one of them where I'm like, what was I impressed by? What? I read the entire page and I'm like, I mean, what made me excited about this?
We definitely change.
Do you want to go through your list?
I mean, yeah, we can go through a little bit.
Yeah.
So yes, this was back in the day when I was on Facebook being like just live tweeting. I'm still going to call it that. There was page 157, and these are all like in the hardback versions because that's the only version that I own. The first page to make me say, "You go, girl, you go," was on page 157. And apparently that was Egwene and Rand like facing off against each other in the tent.
Oh.
Now, was that in support of Rand or Egwene, the You Go girl?
Egwene. It wasn't ever in support of Rand.
I have to ask. I don't know.
And yeah, I think it was just Egwene like being her full Amerlin self because she really does just like take charge of it. Like Rand is like, everybody can have 5 people in their party, and she says, okay, here's my 5. And she just marches in, and then everybody else in the tent like just realizes it's not between, like, they don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually between Egwene and Rand.
Mm.
And I'm like, that's fair. That was it. And then on page 168, the first page that made me cry, along with the second page, was just Moraine returning.
Oh, yeah, that was good. That was good.
I'm like, I have waited, like, it's been 84 years.
Truly.
It's been 84 years.
And I'm sorry to say, I have to say it again, but it makes it even more frustrating that she doesn't have much more of a role after that. Like, because after waiting so long for Moraine to go back, she's finally here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And has very little of a purpose.
I mean,
yeah.
She
has a purpose, but like for 5 pages. That's not enough.
Yes.
We've been waiting to read about her for like months, like years.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, it's definitely like a little underwhelming. She serves a very important purpose because she comes back to prevent them all from like doing shit right now.
Right.
Because, and everybody, like, the thing that I loved about this specific scene, like these 5 pages, were the fact that everybody knew who she was and everybody gave her the respect that she deserved and no one questioned it.
Yeah. It's a very good full circle moment because, like, it's in that respect.
Right.
Because, you know,
one person questioned it, and it was one person who had never met her before.
Yeah.
Everybody else, like all of the kings and queens and the dragon and Egwene, and everybody is just like, oh, everybody take note.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Please listen to Mother.
Yes, Mother is speaking. Exactly.
Yeah, and my favorite part is when, like, Moraine is making her way around the room as people are, like, in stunned silence, and she, like, grabs Perrin's arm and, like, squeezes it a little bit, like, and then she hesitates in front of Nynaeve, and then Nynaeve just engulfs her in a hug.
Listen, yes. That was a beautiful moment for me too, because, like, obviously Nynaeve is one of my favorites.
I want that hug.
Yes, I
want that hug so much in the show.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be even more, like, it's gonna be even sweeter on the show because they've kind of changed their dynamic on the show. But
yeah. And then, like, 4 sentences later, Nynaeve just is like, insufferable woman.
Because, you know.
Oh, Nynaeve, never change.
Of
never
course.
change. Bless her heart.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I the guy that's like, who the fuck is this lady? It literally says, who is this woman? And why do we care? And yeah, I don't know. That's amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I get to page 173, which I said was the first page to make me go, oh shit. And it's just Avienda being a dick to Rand a little bit. Not really being a dick. It's more like he left them out of the Dragon's Peace, and Avienda is like, how fucking dare you? And Rand's like, I thought you would want that, because Rand's a fucking moron. And then misogyny happens, and it's dumb. I don't know why I was impressed by this page.
Misogyny happens and it's dumb. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, accurate.
That's how misogyny works.
It happens and it's dumb.
Maybe our view of the world has changed a lot in 11 years.
Apparently.
We're a much more advanced society now.
Yeah, very, very advanced. We've come a long way.
Misogyny's been solved.
We've solved it. We've solved misogyny. We've solved racism. We've solved homophobia.
Yeah,
everything.
It was just Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
It was.
Listen, y'all, racism is over.
We acknowledge his birthday so we don't have to do any meaningful change to erase the systematic things he was fighting against.
That's
Racism
right.
is over.
As he would want. He would be so thrilled with this.
Yes, exactly.
The next part I had was the fact that, like, all of the catching up between, like, Matt and Rand was very funny to me. I think I just, like, it's very Sanderson. It's very Peter Jackson in The Hobbit doing shit just for shiggles. Like, it's very that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But it was a nice scene.
It was.
I'm caught up now. I don't know. 1 second. I need to find page 358.
You're in it now.
358 being finally.
Yeah, finally.
Can we guess what it is about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead and guess what it is about while I read it.
Yeah, let's try.
The only thing I wrote was finally.
358. So it's a bit before
Gawain. No, it can't be. That's way too soon, right?
Finally. Where Alfred through the book? No, a bit less. How big is a hardcover? How many pages is that one?
I mean, this is about 2/5 of the way through. Maybe a little more.
Okay. Finally. What could it be?
Oh,
What could it
this is
be?
really sad.
Oh.
No, not sad as in sad. Sad as in I was excited about this.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh.
What was it?
What, yeah, I'm curious now. What?
It's the first time a gay man is introduced by name.
Oh no. That's really sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Rip.
Okay.
Oops.
Yeah, it literally says, besides, anyone who paid attention would know that Bald here clearly preferred men to women. I was
Mhm.
very excited about that, y'all.
I mean,
This is representation.
This is representation.
yeah.
11 years ago.
Yeah.
Brandon Sanderson said gay rights.
Well, this was actually when he was saying no gay rights, so
Yeah. He was in the no gay rights camp at that point.
True.
yeah.
It's, I mean, at that time especially in fantasy, like those were the crumbs that we clung to. Like it's,
Mhm.
'cause
Yeah.
it wasn't super, in mainstream fantasy, especially.
Yes. Oh, that was very much a sarcastic gay rights.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
I just wanted to make sure no one actually thought that I thought that it was okay. Just wanted
Yeah,
to
we
make
don't want you to get canceled.
Well, some people are silly.
So the first death that made me really sad on page 691.
Was it Gawain? No, Swan.
No, it was Suan.
Swan. I'm still sad about it.
I'm still sad. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
me
the
too.
one thing I will never get over.
No.
Oh, and apparently I was sad about on page 708.
Mm-hmm.
Gawain dying slightly.
Yeah.
I said even though it was his own fault, dumbass.
I mean, fair.
So there's the consequence of your actions.
Yeah. Look at that. I do. So I think this is the one we were talking about before. The Gawain dying. I think we talked about that before.
Yeah.
I can't remember the context.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was basically like Egwene realizing that Gawain died,
Mm-hmm.
and she loses her shit, and then she pulls a thing, and she goes through the
Mhm.
gateway and goes and kills Taim.
Team, yeah.
Mhm.
Can you just go back quickly to Swan's death? Because there's something
Yes.
very
Oh, yeah.
sad about Swan in these books outside of her death is
Mhm.
basically every time she appears. I have a list of basically all of her appearances in the books.
Oh,
do you want to
no.
know what she does?
This is gonna make me so mad. Yeah.
She yells at Gareth Bryn.
So the first scene she's in, she has her hand of Gareth's on Gareth's arm. She doesn't speak. The second one,
Perfect.
she rides at Gareth's side. She's not speaking. The third one, she cleans Gareth's desk. Say one line. You'll need to watch from Dreadlords. That's it. The fourth scene, she's walking beside Gareth when the camp gets a little attacked. She heals one dude. She speaks 3 separate times. That's it. The fifth time, she holds Gareth's arm again. She doesn't speak. The sixth time, she talks to Egwene about legacy. A conversation that is about 234 words. In between pining after Gareth and kissing Gareth in public. And the seventh scene, she dies.
Oh my god.
Perfect.
That made me so mad.
She contributed a lot.
That made me so mad, Camille.
My favorite part is when she cleaned Gareth Bryn's desk so he could
That
do
was-
something meaningful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Rafe, do better.
That made me.
I'm telling
that
you,
made
He's
me-
already doing better. Rafe is already
Oh,
doing miles better.
infinitely.
I know.
Infinite.
I'm just saying.
It's just.
Keep it up, Rafe.
It's baffling to me because she is an important character throughout most of the series.
She's a strategist.
Yes,
She
it
has
just-
a mind. She has.
It's baffling.
It's okay. I'm just saying that it's clearly obvious that Sanderson had characters that he actually understood and knew what to do with them, and other characters that he didn't really know what to do with them. Nynaeve and Swan, two characters that he didn't really know what to do with them. Same with Maureen.
Yeah. It's unfortunately that it's mostly women that
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Someone said it. Somebody said that it was mostly women that
it's very frustrating. Now, I will say he has come a ways. I will not say a long way necessarily, but he has come a ways in the way that he writes women in his stories. But this is like it's rough. The way the way that the female, like a good chunk of the female characters are written in the last like 2 to 3 books of this series is brutal, honestly. Like, it just is.
He has some good moments. Like, for example, Egwene tends to have a pretty decent arc, except for this, like a gathering of... wait, is that a gathering of storm? I don't remember the title.
When what?
Which one?
The first
Gathering.
Gathering of Storm.
Gathering.
Gathering of storm. Like, she takes back the tower, and it's magnificent. It's that scene with Verin and Egwene.
The Shan battle.
It's great.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It's great.
But I think that was not amazing because it was Egwene. I think it was amazing because of what was happening.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I do think Egwene did well, but I also think you could have put anybody there and it would have been fine. I don't know.
I mean, A Gathering of Storm, it's also like the whole thing where Egwene is captured at the tower and she basically gains the respect of a bunch of people from the tower while being completely captive.
This is true.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That arc, that was incredible for me.
This is true.
That's fair. You are correct. I rescind my statement. Egwene is Egwene yelling at Elida that the Dark One would be ashamed to be associated with her is an amazing line.
That's a great scene.
Chef's kiss.
But outside of that, like, a lot of his female characters were funky.
I feel like a lot of female characters in Robert Jordan's writing, like, granted he was not immune from this, but like from like the angry harpy trope, but like in Robert Jordan's writing, you get a lot of women who are very angry all the time for very legitimate reasons. And you get their interiority and you understand why they're angry. With Brandon Sanderson, it's like, I'm a bad ass sassy woman and I'm grumpy and you're gonna see how grumpy I am and no man's gonna tell me what to do.
I don't quite get that, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's with Egwene, it's interesting because she has a lot of her personality traits are what I think a lot of people view as traditionally masculine, quote unquote, traits. And so I wonder if that is maybe part of what made it easier for Brandon Sanderson to write her like consistently, if that makes sense.
Because she's in charge and she's a leader and she's authoritative.
Right. And she doesn't shy away from those traits. She in fact embraces those. Like she doesn't like shy away from it at all, where like and that's not a criticism of her at all. It's a very good thing about her, but it's interesting.
It's make it easier to write her like a man.
Yeah, exactly. Because, Nynaeve is also very authoritative, but Nynaeve is also quote unquote more feminine. Like she has, you know what I mean? Like she which again is not, not a knock against Nynaeve at all, but it's interesting that like it makes a little bit more sense why Egwene is consistent a little bit more.
Right.
And especially like Nynaeve in the last few books doesn't really have an arc of her own, because once she's done with like breaking her block, she's basically a support character for Rand or for Lan. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, what else does she have to do? Like, she's just a superwoman channeler that goes where she's pointed because she doesn't need her own autonomy.
Yeah. And this is part of the reason why I enjoy what they're doing with her on the show, because I think what they're doing is they're stretching out her development and allowing it to play out in a little bit more of a realistic way so that it goes further. Because like, once she gets to a certain point in the series, it kind of stops. and there's nothing else, and we don't. She's such a good character. You don't want that, and it's unfortunate that that's kind of the way that it played out in the series. And so I appreciate that they're really taking the time, as like, you know, it's a little bit frustrating to see, because you kind of just want to be like, I just want you to be like, you know, Super Saiyan Nynaeve, but like,
right.
You know,
I do think one of the things that is not realistic in the books is to just have a block be a thing you get over and then you're good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that's not how, like, you know, trauma works.
Nope.
You have the realization and then you keep going, and life's still hard.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's
she needs therapy.
Yes.
They all need therapy.
Once again, there needs to be a therapy Aja. Like, there needs to be.
The grays and the yellows need to come together.
Yes, exactly.
The grays and the yellows need to form like a dull yellow Aja, a mustard Aja.
A mustard Aja.
Ew. Ew.
A tan Aja.
A tan Aja.
A tan Aja.
There's got to be a better way for that, for a color. I'm sure there's like a super obscure color that matches that.
Well, I mean, it would be the grays and the yellows.
We have pink, we have purple, we got orange, the traffic light Aja, traffic cone Aja.
I mean, we see the red and the green going to battle together. We could have the gray and the yellow working on a project together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the grays and the yellows just need to invent therapy.
100%.
They need to invent mental health.
Yes.
They can use Rand as a guinea pig.
They can be like, look at this one. This one's fucked up and we made it work.
We made it better. We made the ginger better. Well, he's not ginger anymore, but we made it better.
We did it. We did it, everyone.
The next moment I have is on page 723, where apparently I thought Gareth Bryn deserved a better scene.
Oh.
Because he just rode off in the sunset and died.
Well.
Off page,
like Suan.
Yeah. Well.
I will say,
on page 736, I thought Galad and Demandred's fight should have been a little bit more epic.
Homoerotic.
Although rereading it, like, it's written pretty well, so I don't know what I wanted out of this.
This is a good insight into, like, your, you know, how you felt about characters and
younger self.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, this is written pretty well. I mean, I'm not upset by it at all. Galad lost an arm, and then it's assumed Galad died. He didn't die, though, because he's a channeler. After the last battle. Which I want that book. That's what I want.
Give us that book.
I want the show to give some
too
hints about that, but at the same time I just remember who is gonna be the Galad, and I'm like,
I am actively, I can't explain how much I am actively blocking that out.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Nope. I
am gaslighting myself real hard.
Don't talk about
no. That's exactly
gaslight, gatekeep, them boss yourself.
Yes, exactly.
I am gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, genociding myself.
To circle back. Oh my god, to circle back.
No.
Circling back to our earlier discussion. So, no, you mentioned that Gareth dies off scene. I have to say, Brandon Sanderson really nailed my least favorite part of Robert Jordan's writing, which was killing off major and interesting characters off screen in totally anticlimactic ways. Because he did that so many times during A Memory of Light. I'm like, come on. Yep. Like, we had Couladin die. We had Little Shorty. What's his name?
Samael.
Yeah, Samael. We had Napoleon die off screen. I mean, like, come on, Brandon, you could have given us something, just something.
Listen, he's continuing the grand tradition.
We got Egwene. Egwene died very on screen.
This is true, and Brandon did a very good job. You did a good job, sweetie.
And Rand died very on screen.
And then he didn't.
And then he didn't. Demandred died very on screen.
Yes, that one took a long time.
That one took too long.
Yeah, it did.
I did not care about this motherfucker for that long.
Far too long, yeah.
We don't need three duel for
all of them.
100.
Yeah, because it's what, Gawain, Galad, and then Lan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care.
We don't need to do all that.
I will say, page 770, I said, fuck, really? And it was apparently about Bela dying. which was then retconned.
Oh.
And then unretconned, and now I just think she lives in horse purgatory.
Sure. Oh, that sounds horrifying.
But she's the creator.
Why purgatory and not heaven? Horse heaven.
Because she doesn't know if she's alive or dead yet.
Mhm.
Oh, that's the purpose of purgatory. Okay. No way.
She's in the in-between.
Sorry.
See, if I were a Twitter of Time account, I would say, day one of me begging Rafe Judkins to make Bela a hero of the horn.
Oh, good heavens.
Day 749. I'm still here. Are you listening, Rafe?
That last sentence could be a title. I will see when doing the
I
edit.
don't know why that made me laugh so much, but oh my god.
Apparently on page 778 and 779, I was happy that Berelain and Galad are together.
That's
Oh.
very homophobic of you.
Should not made me tear up, but it did. You teared up at that?
Apparently, I was a soft
Wow.
thing.
My goodness.
I mean, it's cute.
Mhm.
It's
Yes.
cute.
I know Matt wants Galad to be gay, but
He has to be queer. He must be.
I mean, he can be with a woman and still being queer.
This
Mhm.
is true. But he needs to be more queer.
Oh, I think what made me tear up was Honora burning herself out to heal Galad.
Ah.
Oh.
For Berelain, because she felt like she owed it to Berelain.
I see.
Who's Honora again?
Well, that doesn't pass the Bedshel test.
Honora is Berelain's Aes Sedai advisor.
Oh.
She's from the White Aja.
Why gotta be the white Aja? Just ignore that.
Yeah, apparently, okay, it wasn't, because that was not them getting together. No, that was kind of them getting together a little bit. But mostly, I think it was Honora burning herself out because, it was very touching.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
it was. Yeah, it was.
I just wiped all of Galad's heterosexuality out of my brain, so I don't remember that scene.
And then the last note I have is on page 785, which is when Mellar kills Birgitta.
Oh my god.
I
Oh.
didn't like that
Well.
scene. I needed a hug after that scene, even though she came back to life. It was too graphic
I
for
know.
my taste.
I hated that guy so much.
Mellar is literally, out of everyone in these books,
Mm-hmm.
top 10 worst.
Mm-hmm. Fuck them specifically.
And
Mhm.
and it's not just that he's the worst, is that he stay next to Elaine for so long, and it's so obvious he's a villain, and he's still there doing villainy thing, and nobody sees anything.
I know.
And you
Mhm.
read that, and you're like,
Are you fucking kidding
God
me?
fucking damn it! Open your
Yeah.
fucking eyes!
Well, this is the same reason that I
Yeah.
can't stand Mazrim Tame, because he's
Yes.
twirling his mustache going, haha, Randall Thor, I have just murdered half a village of children, and here's their skins hanging on my wall. And Rand's like, okay, so for next week's meeting with the Ashaman, can we think about doing maybe a little more training for them? And it's like, dude, this guy's literally a war
Yeah.
criminal,
Yeah.
literally
Yes.
doing crimes, and you're just like, okay, well that's okay, you just do that. I'm gonna go do my thing over here.
Rand's like, hey, bestie, I'm gonna leave you in charge, you know.
Tame literally turned all of the Eshaman, and Bran is like, okay, sure, why not?
And
Cool.
then he wasn't Demandred in the end, which is just
Listen, I
Oh
can't.
gosh.
I was convinced.
same.
I was convinced.
Everybody was convinced.
Yeah.
And part of me thinks that it was that's what it was originally intended, and it was changed
Mm-hmm.
so the fans wouldn't be right,
Well, yeah, I still think that.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is frustrating because it would have been even if we all predicted it, it would have been a much better ending.
Yes. And that's good. That's good foreshadowing, though. That's
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you want the surprise. You want people to not expect it. But if there are hints and bits and pieces dropped and fans figure it out, it means that you've done it successfully. That's not you don't have to change it. It's so weird. I don't know.
And also, what is Demandred doing is basically in this faraway country riding
Yes.
some troops and then popping up by surprise for the last battle. I swear to you, the Sharon, I had no
Oh.
idea what they were because they were mentioned a few times, but always to the side and
Barely, though.
barely, so they didn't seem particularly interesting, and we had not gone there and we had not met anyone from there, so they didn't seem relevant. And then suddenly they show up in the middle of the last fucking book of this series. Like literally my twin, when she finished that book, she wasn't even done with the books yet. She saw that scene and she had to make like a 2-minute TikTok being like, what the fucking fuck? You do not introduce main villain, like you do not introduce significant opponent in the middle of the last battle.
Yes.
Literally.
Exactly. I know. It was just it was so bonkers. Like that's what I mean. Like it's it's such a wild book. It's such a wild ride. Like some of the choices are really, really great. And then some of them I'm like, why?
Why are you gonna do this to us?
Why was this a thing?
It's a book that really makes me feel like, okay, great, finally I'm done with it. There's plenty of things that I'm not fully okay with, but I'm like, don't care about it. I just want it to be done. Yeah. I'm kind of curious how it must have felt for like people who had started the books like in the 90s and waiting, like, because Jordan died and then there was this thing, like for a while people didn't know whether the books were going to be finished, like, but for a while people thought they would not be finished. So finally getting an ending to those books, I don't know.
I mean, there were a lot of people that did not like Sanderson's books in that time. Like, there were a lot of people that did not care for the fact that, like, they appreciated that someone was going to finish them, but a lot of people just didn't care for the books at all and thought it was a huge departure. And it was, but also, like, what's worse, like, not having an ending or having an ending that isn't quite what you envisioned, but, like, all the plot points are still there.
It also could have been so much worse.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Terry Goodkind could have finished them.
Oh, God.
Not Terry Good King.
Like, y'all know that I have frosted over my opinions on Brandon Sanderson in the last year, but he was probably the best person to finish the books, and I'm glad that he did it despite my complaints, because Terry Goodkind could have done it.
My God.
I mean, George R. R. Martin could still be doing it.
Yeah, George R. R. Martin could still be doing it.
Think about it. We could still be waiting for the books. We could still be waiting.
Yeah, I mean, at least they picked someone who knew how to write fast and to handle a lot of information and this kind of thing.
We'd still be theorizing what's going to happen in book 12.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine?
That's also why, like, when we talk about the show and we're talking about things changing and this kind of thing, I have like zero complex about the show changing stuff from the last few books, mostly because it's like it's already a version of the Wheel of Time that is different from the version of Jordan, and the show is a different version of the Wheel of Time too. So it's like it's fine if we have multiple different versions.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
What do I want from the show in regards to A Memory of Light and changes? I want Moraine and Nynaeve to play a bigger part. I want Egwene to still die the way she does, because I think that was perfect. Honestly, perfect arc for her. I want Rand to stay dead.
Me too.
I want Moraine and Swan to be the Mantos still alive and looking at their dead mentees.
They can be burned out or something, that's fine. But like what gets them to live is each other, and they just live a normal, happy life. Fine with that.
Yeah.
I'd
I'd be okay with that. That's because I mean, quite honestly, anything would be preferable to the nothing that we got. In The Memory of Light. Like what I mean,
And there's a few plots in The Memory of Light that I did enjoy. Like I really loved Grendel manipulating the generals. I think it was like a nice twist to the battle and making things a lot more threatening since everyone could be corrupted.
I loved Matt in his full, like, you know,
as a general,
army general sort of. Yeah, like I liked that sort of culmination of things. I don't always like Sanderson's Matt voice, like the way that he's sort of written, but I did like that aspect of it. I thought that was fairly well done. So, you know, that'll be something, I think, especially with what they're doing with Matt on the show. I think it'll be even like more satisfying to see the culmination of that at the end, because, you know,
I liked I have a complicated relationship with Matt, but not really a relationship. But it's I don't know. I like part of him, but I also don't like all lenient and complacent he is with Sentience and with Tuan.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's just because, like, the Shan-Chan are like the Sharans in the fact that they're a force to be reckoned with, but at least we know about them. And I feel like we have to do better in the show than in the books because, it's bad. Shit's bad, yo.
Yeah, and I mean, I will get it if the show doesn't fully solve the situation, because that's a big thing to solve. That's not going to be something that's going to be solved like very easily. But I would like to that the conclusion is not, oh, things are well as they are right now, and more of a, we need things to change. There's a path to do that. Let's start on that path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think a big part of that starts with how they approach Chuan's character on the show, because there was a really good opportunity that they had for her, like they had with her in the books. And it's, to me anyway, like I think to a lot of people, it's obvious that Robert Jordan had every intention of following through with that. And then unfortunately was not able to. And it really and truly is unfortunate, because I think a lot of that starts with Chuan's mindset changing and us actually getting to see that change and not just speculate about it happening after the fact. And so that's, I'm looking forward to see how they handle her character on the show, because I think it's a really good opportunity to show, like, how do you deal with generational, like, cultural fucked upness? Like, how do you tackle that? How do you unlearn all, like, generation and generations of just, like, horribleness?
Fuckery.
Yeah, fuckery.
Yeah.
I mean, how would we feel if Tuan in the show just was like, yeah, I don't actually like the whole Dakavale thing, but, like, we go with it? Like,
honestly,
if it's written well,
I'd be fine with that.
yeah.
Always depend on it's written.
Yeah.
Because like someone said, like, Jordan was planning the Outlander, not the Outlander series.
Outrigger.
Outrigger. So, like, I feel like a lot of the loose threads would have been solved, but, like, because we don't have that, I feel like Rafe should probably try to at least think about wrapping up some of those threads in a more satisfactory way for the show.
Yeah.
The Outrigger novel where Matt and Tuan go back to Shan-Chan and solve slavery. The one book where that's all accomplished.
The one book where it's all accomplished.
I just reread Lan and Demandred fighting, and I do love Demandred being like, who are you? Over and over, and being like, are you Asmodean? Luce Theron? Who are you?
It's going down the list.
Oh yeah, because Demandred is basically trying to find Rand, right?
Yes.
That's all he's doing is trying to fight Luce Theron.
Yeah.
He's such a loser.
He's so dumb.
Gosh.
He's so dumb.
Oh my god.
He literally doesn't care about, like, the Dark One or anything. Like, Demandred is literally just like, I need to fight my bestie. My frenemy.
What a ding dong.
And then Nani's like, he doesn't even go here.
I know.
Or some gay in the army's like, he doesn't even go here.
He doesn't even go here. Oh my god.
Okay.
And then Brigida comes back, and I'm just, ever since I read Perrin a completely different way ever since I saw some comment saying that, like, the way that he smells everybody denies them their right to their feelings and stuff, and now that's all I see when I read his stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he smells someone and I'm like, you're an abusive person.
Yeah, because he basically act on something that hasn't happened.
Exactly.
Right. Like, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve to be cool.
Oh boy.
And also he doesn't tell them why he acts in a specific way. Like, he's gonna react in a certain way because Faye is angry, but he's not gonna tell her that, oh, I know you're angry.
No.
And I mean,
right.
That would be healthy.
Yeah. The communication is lacking severely. Severely.
In everyone, but especially with Perrin.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
which is hilarious considering he has another way of communicating.
I know.
He has another way of understanding people's emotion, and he just misfiring it, misusing it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else on A Memory of Light?
I don't think so.
Not that I can remember.
I don't think so.
Not that you can a memory?
Not that I can remember.
Do you think the show is going to open a portal into a volcano?
I hope so, because that would be cool.
I wouldn't mind it.
I would watch that.
Uh-huh.
That was funny. The Indo stab coming back was fun.
Yeah.
Easily Brandon Sanderson's best creation.
Oh, absolutely.
He did create Hinterstop, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Easily his best.
For sure.
Stroke of genius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
In that case.
Thank you all for listening to
Bye, faggots.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you all for listening to the Queers of Time podcast. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. And also, if you want to give us money, that would be great because it's expensive to produce a podcast and we enjoy doing it, but it does cost money. Also, Discord. Discord's great because all of social media is bad, but Discord's good. And we have a book club and we'll have finished our first book by the time this episode comes out. But you can join us for book 2, which is, what book is that?
No, Project Knot. It's a graphic novel.
Project Knot. Yeah, so you can pick that up and read it along with us.
Next week is going to be the episode where we record about Camila, so people still have kind of a week.
Yeah, so I got to read it.
Got some time. Yep.
It's a novella. It's short.
But that's going to be that's an afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to read it this weekend.
Nice.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, I just added Project Knot to my Amazon cart, and it says customers who bought this item also bought other gay thing, and then the Princess and the Grilled Cheese sandwich.
What?
Interesting.
Is that a kid's book? Is it a young adult?
It's a nobleman with a secret and a princess on a mission find love and lots of grilled cheese sandwiches when they least expect it in this funny, heartfelt graphic novel rom-com.
Okay. All right. Well.
See, if that had been gay, I would have considered it, but it's straight, so I'm like, no.
I don't know about that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sure this is great.
Yeah. I don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't.
I literally just spent way too much buying a bunch of Critical Role comics, so no.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I ain't doing all that.
Remember when I said I wouldn't buy too many books this year? Well,
I
fuck
do
me.
remember that. And we are, Camille, I just want to remind you, it is January 17th.
I have not yet gone on my birthday book buying spree because Friday is when I usually have time to do things, but I just got back from Louisiana and it was cold outside and I was hungover from 17 hours of traveling. So this coming Friday, I'm doing my birthday buying book binge.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
Birthday buying book binge. Birthday buying.
Anyway, bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you all for listening. This was Queers of Time, a Wheel of Time podcast. The music is Dance of the Witches by Julius H.